Hey YouTube, this is Zach with Achilles Financial. We are back, and when we are looking at the market over the past few days, it has been insane, and we're going to talk about that today in this video. The other thing that we're going to talk about, just to recap some of the trades we've been making, what I did today. We've got some commentary from the Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell today in terms of what we're going to be looking at going forward for inflation, and that does have implications concerning the stock market and what we're going to be looking at, as well as what are we going to be doing going forward. We did see a little bit of a rotation today, and I'd like to have some trades going forward, so we've got a few that I'm going to be looking at. So without further ado, again, I do want to maintain transparency. So to start the video, I'm going to highlight what trades I've made just in the past 2 days. And this is following up, if you recall, I started out the video yesterday showcasing my Facebook trade that I sold out of Facebook way too early. I ended up selling a $290 call yesterday for the end of this week, and it was going to, I sold 3 of them for a $30 loss a piece, and those contracts were worth a lot yesterday, worth a little bit less now, but still well higher than what I traded them for. So I felt bad. I missed out on a lot of the tech yesterday. I did not make the same mistake today. So I did sell my Bank of America calls. I think if I had held those, I probably would have done a little bit better, but I am okay with that. Banks did move up today. That was part of the rotation, but I got out of those early morning off the initial run up. So that being said, the other thing I purchased yesterday was I did buy the the Boeing call that you see here for 185 by the end of this week. I bought that for 54 cents, and they had a big run up pre-market and then in the first 5 minutes of the market today. So what I ended up doing is I actually sold that. There was a wide spread, and I set a limit order for 89 because at the high end of that spread was 90. And as you can see, someone did make that purchase, and it did fill me at the 90. So that was pretty cool. It was great. As you can see, that was something that I flipped right at market open, and that's always encouraging to see, as well. It was something nice to start the day off. So I've got that going on there. You can see that at 9:31. So this is all Eastern time. So that happened as soon as the market opened. The other trade that I made today is I did purchase a Nvidia call spread or a debit spread, and we'll look at that here momentarily, as well as I did a Microsoft flip. So as you saw today, there was big news on Microsoft. I could have held this a little bit longer and got more money, but I did purchase these for 120, and then I sold both of them for 199. So I was able to get $160 there, as well as you can see the flip from the the Boeing call that I had up here. So those were the trades that we made today. What we're going to talk about now is what happened with some of the tech, as well as why I'm excited about Nvidia. So as you can see, I've got Microsoft up here on the screen. Over the past month, and really just the entire pandemic, Microsoft's been on a tear. We had that big run up. We played them last week. They did finally break over 220 at the end of the day yesterday, and they exploded higher today off of news that they were going to be making a joint deal for TikTok to purchase it, with a very surprising choice in Walmart. So that's the article that CNBC published, as well as some other people were talking about. We saw Walmart at 52-week highs today. It was pretty crazy watching this happen. So I'll just show you the year-to-date chart for Walmart, and you can see right here, let's back out of that a little bit. You can see right here that again, there's been some huge moves with them, and this was just absolutely crazy. You can see that big move right there. And this is the largest or the highest price I've ever seen Walmart. It is just making all-time highs. They're absolutely killing it. And so when I look at them, this is just a very nice healthy chart to experience. But I'm interested to see where do they go forward from here. I'm also interested to know how Microsoft and Walmart ended up being on that deal and what that means for Walmart going forward. Are they coming into the tech space? So that's one of the reasons why I had all of that optimism. I have not seen anything after hours. This could be just people getting home and reacting to that news. So that's what was happening today. You saw that come kind of across the wire for everyone. But let's dive into some of the bank stocks and what the recent matter means. So one of the things that came about as the Fed meeting today is essentially that inflation is no longer a concern in terms of they are going to just target a 2% inflation rate. What they're actually looking for is to see it go much higher. What that essentially means is that they are really going to be enabling people to get back to work. They want people to have jobs. They want it to be inexpensive for commerce and consumer thinking to come back. With that being said, that means that there's a lower chance of defaults on loans if people are working, and the Fed is saying to businesses, we are not going to get in your way. And you can see that the banks reacted positively. They had that initial jump, but really nothing after that. And you can see that here again. JP Morgan was up 3.5%. Wells Fargo was up 2.3%. And then Bank of America was up 1.92. And Bank of America is traditionally a slow mover, and you can kind of see that here. I'm long in Bank of America, so I have most of my holdings there, my 401k account, but you can see I've got 10 shares here. And they have been steadily going up. You can see my trade price to get in was $24.42. The reason for that is because I just purchased another 4 shares, I believe yesterday, so I'm actually at a loss on those. But now let's talk about the Nvidia. So Nvidia is one that I love to watch, I love to play Nvidia, and you can see right here that I've gone in on a trade. So let's talk about Nvidia. If we just look at today, let's look at the chart right now. And they're kind of coming down. This is off their massive high. So why am I so bullish on Nvidia? So if we talk about where they're at right now, we just came off a big high and now we're hovering. We know that there's a lot of people who get really excited and they play these headline news points. However, Nvidia is very expensive, and you can see that down here where even on these 2 calls, I should start benefiting at 520, but here I don't start benefiting until really 521, basically 522. They have to close over here on the green side. And again, I'm using Thinkorswim by TD Ameritrade for this graphic that you see here. But what I did, the way that I went about this is, if you look at this, the trades, for example, if I was to open up a new trade for next week, for me to say that this stock is going to be at 520, then they're expecting a big move and a lot that can happen. And you can see that that trade right now is currently going for $760. So how do I benefit from that? Well, if I were to purchase that, the stock would have to be at least 527.85 or somewhere around that realm for me to have any realm of profitability. Or if I don't think it's going to move that far, I can go in at this credit or this debit spread that I've selected above, and you can see just here that it doesn't have to make as big a move. Now, however, if the stock does get rocking and rolling, and the reason that I think it might is because Nvidia at the beginning of next week is going to be announcing its new graphics cards, then you're going to see that my profitability is capped right here at 310. However, my cost to get into this trade with these 2 selected, my cost was only $190. So $190, I can profit $310. So that means I can walk away with $500. So I am very happy with that. It's above 100% return on investment. That's the play I'm looking at Nvidia. I think there may be a chance to get in on this again tomorrow. I'm willing to double dip on this. However, I want to see what the market opens at before I potentially consider that. I think if Nvidia drops under 500, that is cause for concern. We're close to there now. They did have a down day. They are a big mover, but I think we're going to see some optimism next week off of their announcement. So those are the trades I made today. These are the trades I'm looking at going forward. I still like Pfizer for the long term. I'm going to be watching them as well, but Nvidia is the play that I'm going to be following very closely. So if you found this content helpful, please drop a like below. And if you are so inclined, please subscribe. Thank you, everyone. Appreciate it. Talk to you later.